Hi guys, so we have a little treat today. Some of you might not think it's a treat, but hopefully you will. Um, some leftovers from a little chicken harvest that I did on my little chicken farm here. Not our school chickens, right? Of course. Um, Give me 1 second, I'm being called. Okay, back to it. What I did was I saved a heart, one of the two lungs, a gizzard, and a liver, gallbladder, spleen, and a few things like that. So we're going to take a look at them. We're going to talk about what they do. Maybe we'll take a little closer look at them with a little microscope, and we'll see what we can learn from it, okay? So let's get started. I'm going to click over to our camera that is currently taking a look at a heart and a lung. Okay. So this first organ here, this is, what is it? Is it the heart or is it the lung? Well, it is the lung. This is the lung. Now, a couple observations to make here with the lung is that it is connected to the heart. So why would the lung be connected to the heart? Maybe we need a really high amount of, or a large amount of blood flowing through that organ, right? So remember, the lung helps to exchange oxygen with carbon dioxide as we need it in the body. But how does it do that? Well, we'll talk about that. And it's going to need the heart to do it. So here's our little lung. And now a little observation we can make here with this lung. Take a look at how soft it is. It is so soft and squishy, okay? So why is that? Well, any ideas? I know Jason is like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Right, Jason? Okay, so, well, it's so soft and squishy because this lung needs to expand greatly and contract again to get oxygen into the lung and then back out of the lung, okay? So it's got to move that in there. To do that, it's got to expand. So it's a really, really soft, squishy little delicate, very delicate organ. Now, if you think about that, take a look at this heart. If I touch that thing, it hardly moves at all. That is a tough little nugget right there. But this is a delicate little lung that we need to be careful with, right? Protect it from our coronavirus and from smoking and other problems that the lung can cause, or problems that can happen to the lungs. So here's our heart. I cut a little slice in it so we can see inside. This heart is shaped a lot like our heart. Okay, we have these large muscly portions on the bottom here. Those are called the ventricles. There's much smaller ones up here. They're called the atria, and they are they kind of help, but the power all comes from the ventricles. That's where they squeeze and they squirt that blood right out of those tubes. So speaking of those tubes, this is the biggest one. And this little guy, how cool is that? We can actually see the tube. Oh my goodness, how cool. See right down in that tube. So that little tube, guys, that is connecting down here in the heart. And there's only one thing that could be, since it's the largest tube coming off of the heart, that must be the aorta. Okay, so that aorta is what feeds most of the body with blood that gets pushed through the heart. Okay, so now if we open this up a little bit, we can see a couple things. We can see these really thick walled meaty area here, okay? In a little hole in the middle. Okay, that little hole, that is the area where the blood comes in. So the blood comes into that area, the muscles squeeze, and they squirt the blood right out of there. Okay, and into the blood vessels in the body. So pretty neat. So this muscle is a very dense, very strong muscle because it's got to sit there and beat and beat and beat and beat and beat for your entire life. Once it stops, it's over, right? So take good care of our heart and our lungs, please. Now, let's keep going a little bit here. If we take a look at this organ, this is an interesting one. So look how smooth and supple this little guy is. What a beautiful little shimmering little organ here. Any ideas what it is? It is a liver. This is the liver. There are usually, in humans, there are 3 lobes to the liver. You can actually have one lobe taken out and still survive. The liver is one of the few organs that will kind of repair itself a lot more than others will. So liver has some important jobs. This helps to filter the blood and get rid of toxins. That's why when people drink too much alcohol, they can end up with liver problems because the liver is in charge of getting rid of all that alcohol, which is sort of slowly poisoning us. But one thing that's good to do is to take a look at this liver and see, is there any discoloration? Is there any white spots or anything like that? If there were, then we'd be thinking that this maybe wasn't the healthiest chicken. But this is beautiful. This is a very healthy bird. This is there are no issues with this liver at all. So another little interesting organ down here. Look at this little guy, this little bulb here. This is the spleen. The spleen is a neat little organ. It's like a little bag full of blood, and it helps your blood to mix with other bits of your blood, and it helps to transfer immunity, like antibodies, or that you get after you have a cold or the flu or something and you build antibodies. Well, this helps to mix it so that all of your blood ends up getting those antibodies, not just some of it. So, pretty interesting little organ. But a really interesting one, especially if you are doing some work on chickens here, is this guy. See what color that is? That is green, isn't it? Now, if I cut that open, a lot of green goo comes out. So here's the thing, guys. I need your help. This green thing is connected to our liver, and on one end. On the other end, it's connected to the stomach. So what do we think this green thing could be? It is the gallbladder. So the liver helps to create bile, which helps in digestion. The bile is stored in this little organ, the gallbladder, and until it's needed by the stomach. So once it's needed by the stomach, it will release that bile into the stomach, and it will help digest the food. So there are things called gallstones. You may have heard of them. Hopefully not by personal experience, because they're horribly painful. But what happens is a little stone forms in the tube that goes from the gallbladder to the stomach, and it blocks the way, and it makes very difficult digestion. But what they usually do is they cut the whole gallbladder out, connect the liver straight to the stomach, and they call it a day. Okay, so let's see. We have one other thing I'd like to show you, and that is what we're going to find on a screen share here. We're going to screen share. I'm going to pause it first, and then we're going to screen share it. Okay, so we're going to pause this. Okay, guys, so we're back, and thanks to a lot of special thanks to the Lemieux, who helped to, or not helped, but got this little microscope for me, which I am so excited about showing you. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a little slice of the lung. Okay, now one thing you can see in this lung, and let's see, one thing you can see in this lung, hopefully you can see, is all of those little white tubes and sacs in there. So these little tubes connect these little sacs, very, very thin little tiny balloons they look like. And it's pretty interesting. These guys can, they fill up with air, basically. And they're so thin that air is so close to the blood in the body that some gas exchange can occur there. So, and that means we're exchanging carbon dioxide for oxygen, okay? Because the red blood cells will be right on the other side of that. So anyway, that is our alveoli. This is what we need to protect to keep us healthy from the coronavirus, guys. But I just wanted to show you that, and hey, enjoy. Hopefully we'll have a lot more of this once we get to that last unit on human body. Okay.